We're all set? Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the Town of Pownell Select Board Meeting, April 11th, 2024, at 6 P.M. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Board member roll call.
Angie Rawling,
Carl Strohmeyer.
Mike Gardner.
Jamie Percy. William Cottrell.
Everyone rise for the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda, public comment. Board restructure. Vice chair approval of minutes, warrants, correspondence, excess weight permits, updates from town officials, planning commission number of members, discussion decision, grants, committee grants through MERC, employee self-evaluation examples and discussion, Muni plan grant public input, session date, discussion and approval, contract law enforcement, invite to bid discussion, town policy review, select board work session discussion and planning, remote meeting discussion, planning, public comment, executive for legal, and adjourn.
So moved.
we need to add to the agenda, the Conservation Commission apply for the WBC Clean Water Workforce Development Grant. If we want them to move ahead with that or not.
Let's do this right after updates from town officials.
Okay.
Do I have a motion for the agenda with the change?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there any public comment, Hannah?
Yes. Jenny has her hand up.
Excuse me?
Jenny.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Jenny Dewar, Pownell. I just wanted to check in and let you all know about a bunch of, I'm actually not calling in to complain about anything. There's several festivals happening at the Apple Barn this season. Angie, it was nice to see you in the parking lot there the other day. Maple and April will be April 20th. So they're all the third Saturday of the month. And so the first one is next week from Saturday, Maple and April. It'll be indoors with several vendors and some live music, including Anne Marie and Veronica Jarvis from Pownell. May 18th is Roots and Blooms, and that's going to be celebrating spring and moms at the barn, even though it's a week after Mother's Day. Mothers can be celebrated all year, as far as I'm concerned. June 15th will be Flavors of Vermont. That's going to be a food festival with food trucks and other kinds of, and other food from all over the place. July 20th is the Blueberry Festival. That we had last year and it was hugely successful. So we'll be doing that again. And by we, I mean, I don't work for the barn, but Sarah has subcontracted me to handle all the vendors for these festivals, just to clarify. Heritage Harvest Festival will be on September 21st. They're all from 10 to 6. And then the last one is October 26th, the Spirits of Samhain, which is a Halloween and Samhain festival. That will be from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. with lots of spooky things and other fun stuff to do. I'm also starting a market that's going to be, Sarah has kindly given me real estate in the north lot of the Apple Barn. That's going to be on Sundays from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. It's a maker's market, more about crafts than food. And I did it on Sundays so it wouldn't conflict with the Bennington Farmers Market, which is apparently kind of up in the air right now anyway. But so that's on Sundays. If there are any vendors who are interested in applications, they should email me at orchardairllc@gmail.com, or they can go to the Apple Barn Facebook events page and they can download the applications from there. So I hope that town folk will come to all of these fun festivals that Sarah and I are planning. So that's all.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jenny.
My pleasure.
Any more public comment, Hannah?
No, their hands are up.
No other hands are up? Okay, board restructure for vice chair. I need a motion for vice
Make a
chair.
motion to nominate Angie for vice chair.
I'll second it.
Any other nominations for vice chair? There's a motion in a second. Any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? All those in favor of Angie as the vice chair?
Aye.
I abstain.
Approval of minutes. Minutes to March 14th, 2024.
So move.
Second.
Questions, comments, corrections? All those in favor of March 14th?
Aye.
Aye.
March 28th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments, corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
Minutes of April 2nd, 2024, special select board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
Warrants. Accounts payable April 5th, $35,452.88.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments, corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
Accounts payable April 12th, 2024, $25,482.75.
So moved.
Second it.
Questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Payroll April 5th, 2024, $12,312.89.
So moved.
Second it.
Questions, comments, corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. Payroll April 12th, 2024, $12,551.86.
So moved.
A second? Okay, I thought so. Thank you. Questions, comments, corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any correspondence? I don't believe there's any correspondence tonight. I don't think we have any excess weight permits. Updates from town officials. I have one from Darcy. Is Darcy in?
No.
Okay, I didn't think she was gonna be in. I think that's why she emailed it. Attached is the approval letter and application package for Royal Pine Villa Mobile Home Park Sewer decommissions. She's included the entire package in case the board wants to give it a quick review. She's found the applications to be complete and has pre-signed the letter in anticipation of the board's approval. These three approvals will complete the allowed allocations for mobile home parks this calendar year. 2 decommissioning allocations remain open for this calendar year, available to any landowner outside of a mobile home park. Our policy is to allow 5 per year respectively, so they can be accounted for during the budgeting process. The motion needs to be read and approved. Is make a motion to approve sewer decommissions, application 6D1, 6D2, 6D3 for Royal Pine Villa Mobile Home Park, parcel ID number 007-04, as outlined in the attached letter drafted by the wastewater chief operator dated April 11th, 2024.
Only question I have is, should we do this in a sewer commission meeting? I know the select board is proxy, but we're at a select board meeting, not a sewer commission meeting. That's. I'm not trying to cross hair, just want to be
But
proper.
if you go down to,
I know it's on the agenda.
no, if you go down to her letter, it gives,
It should give a reason in here.
no, she gives, what's the word? The rules.
The motion that needs to be read and approved
Yeah.
is the following. I want me to read it?
I just read it.
Yeah.
Oh, you already read it. Yep, that's exactly right.
I meant the rules and regulations of the select board to move on it. I know I read that.
Well, as long as we're good, then I have no problem moving forward with that. Just making a point of order from what we generally do, that's all.
I think as with the sewer board, we have a full board here. I think we can do it. And it's under updates from town officials.
Okay,
That's where we followed it. That's where it's put. So I think we're fine.
I know we're fine. I read it.
I have a motion and I have a second,
yep,
correct? Jamie, you're good?
yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Um. Zoning, we're getting a pile of permits the last couple of weeks, mostly just, addition sheds, couple of outbuildings. Um. Barns, garages, whatever, nothing major going on, from the zoning aspect. I don't think Joel's in tonight, is he, Anna?
No.
I'd like to give a shout out to our town employees. All of them that work so hard on, cleanup from the storm last Wednesday and Thursday. I know for a fact that we were hit, as harder than anybody in the entire county here in certain sections of town. And, yeah, guys, fire departments, our road crew, everybody that was involved. I'm sure the wastewater crew was involved somewhere. I'm sure that Tom had some stuff he had to do with the transfer station, but it was basically business as usual without a whole bunch of interruptions. So I'd like to give a shout out to all of the town employees that work pretty diligently and pretty hard on making roads passable in a pretty quick amount of time.
Definitely kudos to.
Thank you.
Our company did good too.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Power company.
The power company was, yeah, outstanding as far as that goes. I know for a fact what they went through. Yeah, yeah, there's some pretty scary stories out there about what some of them went through for sure. And, Green Mountain Power, the contractors that came in, thank you for working so hard on getting power restored. I think everybody was restored by Saturday evening.
Yeah,
You know, I think that was the last ones they put on, so I know they had a bunch of stuff to do this week, but everybody was pretty much back up and running, so thank you to them. Thank you for that. So that's, I didn't want to forget them. Perfect. Okay, Conservation Commission grant. Everybody read that from
yep.
emails back and forth?
I had one question, but Tara answered that question. I just was a little confused on exactly, she said, we're approving, they're applying for the permit,
Correct.
for
Correct.
the grant. That's why I had the confusion there. I thought we were approving the grant. And she says, no, we're approving the
Process.
process of starting it, but we still have, if we don't like it and we get down the road a little ways, we can say no.
Right.
Right, if it's awarded,
No harm, no foul.
If it's awarded, it has to come in
I'm
front.
gonna read the email from Jeannie Alexander. I am writing on behalf of the Conservation Commission to recommend to the Select Board, Town of Pownell apply for the WUV Clean Water Workforce Capacity Development block grant funded through the Department of Environmental Conservation's Clean Water Initiative Program. The deadline for applications is May 9th, and the grant runs from June 2024 through December of 2025. The maximum grant award is $30,000 and there does not appear to be a matching requirement. The commission believes that if awarded to Powell, this grant could help fund proposed and ongoing projects such as river planning to reduce erosion at the Furlong Road, Dean Road intersection, Broadbrook Dam removal or restoration plans for the Powell Town Forest landslide. Please let us know if the select board has any questions. Thank you and have a great day. Jeannie Alexander. I know that we certainly could use, at the Furlong Road, Dean Road intersection down there, we certainly could use some erosion control on that whole side hill. That's an ongoing problem we've dealt with. Both of them have been repaired, through state engineered, plans. And it definitely still needs some work. I'm not real familiar with the Broad Brook Dam removal.
The homes in Saratoga Springs are used as short term.
But, the Pelham Town Forest Lane side, we could use some work there too, that I, I know for sure.
Yeah, the three.
It's,
The
you know-
dam, other three I knew.
Yeah, Furlong Road, Dean Road intersection, that definitely needs some, and if we can get someone to come in and help us pay for that. To try to make that last as long as we can. What's the board's pleasure? And I know they sent the whole entire grant to us. I just got it.
I'll make the motion.
Yeah, second it, to move forward with the application.
Move forward, yes.
Move forward, just the grant application.
Correct.
Okay, just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Staying.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Get rid of this one. Gonna try to keep it cycled in there. Planning Commission, number of members, discussion and decision. I believe, we got the letter from, Chairperson, John Bushy after their last meeting. Actually, I think it was 2 meetings ago, right? To go from 7 to 9. Just an FYI, I believe it was in 2022. I don't recall the date of that, the month. But I'm pretty positive it was 2022. We had a letter from, I think then Chairman, John Bushy, to decrease the number of members from 9 down to 7 because they're having trouble having a quorum for a meeting.
And
Just,
and that's why I personally, we should keep it as status quo. Because at the moment you may think you have people that are willing to, because that's what we had happened before. We had a lot of applicants. So we were, it was a positive thing to increase it, and within a few months, they went for like 4 months and they weren't able to have a quorum because they didn't have enough people showing up to the meetings.
Did we have anybody else show interest? So it would be eight members.
There was one definite letter of interest and then there was another one that may be interested, but I did not receive a letter of interest.
Okay.
So we technically at 8.
so technically it would be an 8. We do not have a 9th. That's, I hadn't seen anything on that, so.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's the other, if we had, say, 4 more applicants, then
Yeah.
maybe I'd have a little different feeling about it.
So the Conservation Commission's at 7. Is there any others that are at 9?
I don't believe so.
DRB's at 7, right?
Yeah, they are moving seven.
DRB's
I
at
believe
7
we
members.
kept them all
7.
because after conferring with everybody else, the other commissions, that seemed to be the number that worked. So,
And I think
in my opinion.
if we go to 9, I think they'll have a problem with people showing up because they'll say, oh, well, so-and-so will show up and I don't have to. And then I think they'll end up short. That's my opinion. That's what's happened in the past.
The only thing about the planning commission, from my standpoint, is the planning commission is not a board, or a commission that actually is a decision-making board or commission.
Well, they're advisory.
That's right, they're an advisory commission, so if they were unable to have a meeting because of a lack of membership, then is it really a huge problem other than, paying, or having Hannah or whoever here running the meeting. You know, that I would have a problem with. If we're paying somebody, you know, the Zoom part is one thing, but, you know, if we're paying Hannah to be here or whatever, to run a meeting, or it's taking time from her other work, or anybody else for that matter, not just Hannah, but that's where I would have a problem with it, if it was costing us.
Well, yeah, obviously she would come in to start it, and if enough people didn't show up, then they'd have to cancel it.
Yeah, but you're still paying.
Right, no,
Or
I
something,
understand.
or what, right,
Right,
right.
Let's cruise with your quorum. Because now you've got 9, now your quorum is up.
right,
Or whereas before, if you had 4 people, you had quorum.
right,
Now, you still have 4 people, but now if you got 9, you don't have quorum.
correct.
Need 5, need the 5th person.
Bob has his hand up. Do you want to accept public comment right now?
If it's brief, we can allow it. And I'm not gonna debate it, that's for sure. But I'll take a comment for sure.
All right, thanks. This is Bob Jarvis, Mount Anthony Road. Just a quick comment on it. It's not a question of whether or not you can have a meeting. It's a question of whether or not you can vote on anything. And the planning commission doesn't vote on a whole lot of things. Usually they have a meeting and then they proceed. It's very rare that they have votes. And usually it's a vote to get, to bring something before the board. I'm just offering that up. It's not, remember, even if you have 3 people, you can still have the meeting. You just can't vote on anything. That's it.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
And that is true. You know, which gives me mixed feelings on that. If you have a meeting with just 3 people, or you have to reiterate the same thing at the next meeting because you only had 3 people, and then, you know, the other 5 are gonna have a question at the next meeting on it, you're gonna do the same thing over again. But that's the planning commission's problem.
I'm sorry to interrupt. It was 3 was just an example I used.
Right,
The
no, I
planning
understand
commission
that.
has been meeting with, 5, 6 pretty regularly.
Yeah, no, I understand that, Bob. I was just, you know, hypothetically saying that, you know, if you had, you know, even if you had 4 members and you needed the 5th one, would you have to revisit everything that you talked about in April's meeting, you know, again in May? That's, you know, if you only had 4 members. That's my question. And it's just, I'm not, you know, it's not that I'm against it. I just want to bring everything out there. That's in my mind about increase or not, that's all. Any more discussion from the board? Any more comments? What's your pleasure? Do I have a motion to increase the number of planning commission members to, from 7 to 9? No motion? It's gonna stay at 7 for the time. Grants, committee grants through MERC. Okay, this is from Callie Fishburne. I wanted to share that she was on, last week, or last meeting. I wanted to share some information about the energy capacity building mini grant available through the MERC program and encourage the panel to apply. As you may know, the Municipal Energy Resilience Program, MERC, is a state program with 3 distinct components designed to help municipalities improve their energy efficiency and resilience. The Energy Capacity Building Mini Grant is one part of the program. This non-competitive grant can provide municipalities with up to $4,000, which they can use for outreach and education related to energy efficiency and resilience. The application is non-competitive and very easy to complete. It takes less than 10 minutes and the reporting requirements are minimal. Community Capacity Building Mini Grants, Buildings and General Services, Vermont.gov. I think Pownell could benefit from the $4,000 mini grant. Use of the mini grant does not have to be connected to the energy assessment of the old town hall. The grant funds can be used more generally for outreach and education. The grant can fund a broad range of activities such as hosting a community energy forum, sending out a townwide mailing with energy efficiency resources, setting up an energy resources page on the town website. Applications are being accepted and approved on a rolling basis, but the application will close on May 31st. I also know that Pownell is still waiting on the energy assessment of the old town hall. The state is working through a large statewide backlog of municipal buildings waiting to be assessed, so I appreciate your patience. Best, Callie.
It could be good to take them forward to apply for it.
Well, I think doing the application is a good idea. I like the part where you could host a community energy forum, townwide mailings, whatever, because, we do have a significant number of, elderly residents in town that may or may not be able to benefit from an energy forum or, a community forum or something like that where they could benefit from that and find out, having the energy resources page on our website where someone could go to, that and say, this organization will come in and help me insulate my home.
Yep.
And I'm just obviously being hypothetical, but what's your pleasure on that?
I make a motion that we move forward with that
With the application,
application, yes, for the grant, for the mini grant.
I'll second it.
any more discussion? Do we have any comments? All those in favor?
Uh,
Employee self-evaluation examples and discussion.
so, I read over it all and I think it's a little lengthy, the evaluation. And, I've had to over the years give myself a evaluation, but then the manager or whoever was ahead of me had to do it and then we discussed it together. I would like to see that happen. I don't think just one person should evaluate themselves. And I also think that maybe we should have, I did read the bottom of that where it had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, correct? Yeah, 1 through 5. That's fine, but I just think it was a little long.
Well, I think it's long because it's a general format that's covering,
A multitude of things.
yes.
Yes.
Of different jobs.
Later on down the road, maybe we could customize it.
Right.
Jobs,
And
but
that could be, because as you're going through it and you're writing down your duties or explaining what you do, then that will be a template, I'm hoping, for an individual evaluation. That we can grow on for each employee.
the only thing that I didn't like about the way it's posted on here is the current one has two ratings. You're either under or you're at standard.
That was my.
There's no spot to me that says you excel.
Right.
So like they should have at least, you're under standard, at standard or above.
But what are the standards? Because everybody's standards are different. I know that my work ethic is up here, but other people's are down here.
Yeah.
So where
I
does?
like doing the one, like a scale 1 to 10 or something, it's like,
5 or something.
yeah, otherwise, right now, so basically it says that nobody can excel at their job. I mean, it just, that to me doesn't really, I know there's people that go above and beyond, so.
You don't meet or you do, or you meet and you don't succeed.
I agree with Bill. I think if this evaluation stayed with this format right here, you have the improvement required.
Right.
Meets the standard, right? Or excels at their job.
Right.
Right.
Like, I think that definitely needs a third column. And maybe the 1 through 5 scale would be a better
Metric?
and you can, right, and you can have 1 or, 1 as being, major improvement required up through. Yeah, right, you have your little scale like everything else does. I can't, sorry, everybody's blurry on me when I have my
Yeah.
glasses on, but I hadn't needed to. And then 10 was excels at the standard,
Yeah.
right? And we could put that metric in there. So maybe the 1 through 10 scale is much better.
Yeah.
I do like most of this. And I think you could also put another section in here on the 1 through 10 is something that's not applicable to your job. Where it wouldn't have to, even though it's lengthy, it does cover everybody. They're all on the same evaluation form. But something on here may not be applicable to their job.
Oh, NA.
Right?
Yeah, NA.
Yeah, so I kind of like that part of it. I'd like to see this changed a little bit to that. I'd like to see a scale of 1 to 10 with that metric on there of 1, needing major improvement. 5 would be, your average, I guess, right? And 10 would be excels at the standard.
Mhm.
And, I think that's the only thing that I saw in it that I saw I see your point on the Excel part for sure. So if we had that metric and that 1 through 10
Right.
or 1 through 5, we could do, it doesn't have to be
Certain things,
10, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through 10. 1 through 5 probably definitely would work.
Yeah.
2 and 3 being your average or whatever.
Mhm.
Do you think once a year is sufficient?
I think I'd like to see new employees. I think to
6
see
month maybe.
6-month review for new employees. And I think a 1-year job review is sufficient. In the 4 years that I've been sitting on the board, 4+ years. I haven't seen where we would have, with the employees that we have, and have had, where we would have had to do one more often. And being involved in the town for as long as, we have and kind of not, all of us really for that matter. Does anybody, have you heard of any rumors or whatever where we would have had to? I don't think we have.
I don't think so.
I think
Yeah,
telling
right
the people who
now,
work
no.
for the town,
Right.
and no matter what capacity, they're here because they want to work for the town. That's right. I think a 1-year evaluation is plenty.
And I think you should do it on the hire date. I mean, like,
Yeah.
once somebody's hired, do it in 6 months and then.
On their
6 months
anniversary.
On their anniversary.
Yeah,
period.
that's fine.
That's way everybody has.
Question I have on new hires, is there a probationary period? On new hires, is there a probationary period?
Leave there. Generally, they do that, but I
That would,
don't
that
know.
would, that would fall in great with doing a 6-month review of new employees, because if you had a probationary period, they would work probationary, and then at whatever the probationary period is, and then at the 6 months, they can be evaluated just to make sure they're going along. I think that would,
No, that's a good,
That's a good question, Carl. I
That's something
don't,
that we have to discuss with policy. And, we really need to get going on policies.
well, that's on here.
Yeah, I know.
that is on the agenda.
I think we could put that in our policy I think that should be brought up in our policy review.
Right.
But I think that's a great
had
point.
something there, but
Yeah,
remember
and
exactly
that's
what.
what I'm trying to remember and I don't remember for sure.
Even if, I know some places, you get 6 months and then it's basically you could leave or they could shoot rid of you. So maybe a 3-month, you kind of sit down and you go through this,
90-day probation.
see if, like, are they understanding to some of what's asked of,
Your probationary period would be separate from your employee evaluation. You'd have your probationary period, but you'd still have your hard 6-month employee evaluation for new people.
Your performance review, yeah.
Performance review, there we go.
Yep. Well, I was reading it.
Okay.
She did. I think that's something we should look at in our policy and make sure that it's there, but I think as far as this performance review, I think it's pretty good right where it is. I think we just need to change that metrics, the evaluation metric from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 or whatever we decide as a board. And,
Not
and,
apply.
yeah, not applicable, or
Not
not
applicable or
apply or
whatever.
whatever, that's right. So I think we need to change that, but that's a pretty simple change, I think. And
Yeah.
Yeah, just a scale and
is
that,
everybody in agreement with changing that to, would you rather see a 1 to 10 or a 1 to 5 scale?
1 to 5 should.
1 to 5, I think.
1 to
it's
5.
simpler.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Bill, you good with that? You think that's?
Yep.
And then we'll have the NA on there. So, we'll make a note. I'm sure Tara's gonna, I think Hannah's making notes for her anyways. Something will make that change and then bring it back again. We should be able to approve this at the next meeting.
Correct.
Yep.
15, community plan grant, public input session, date discussion and approval. Number 15, it's, the BCRC, Tara, the Planning Commission, and Joyce from the, Pine Oak Historical Society have all established a date to have a public input session on the town green improvements on June 8th, 10 to 12. Joyce will be giving walking tours of the historic village center. We would like approval to use the inside of the building. I'll be here to open, monitor, and close the building for the event if you approve us doing so. And when the person that says I will be here is, it's Tara.
Tara, yes.
I,
I don't have any problems with that. That's all.
Oh, I think it's a great
I
idea.
think it's a great idea, absolutely.
I'll second.
Do I have any discussion on that? Any more discussion? I think we definitely give it our blessing and
Yep.
I would encourage, board members to be here if we can,
Absolutely.
just to be present and I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It. 16, law enforcement invite to bid discussion. That's on here so we can discuss if we want to go back out to bid with the contract. Even though the rate was announced, it's okay to go out to bid fairly, because the services and coverage offered could be different. It's on here because we need time. If we decide to go back out to bid, we need time to draft an RFP, get it approved, published, et cetera. And if we decide not to go back out, we can just move ahead with a higher hourly rate as of July 1st. It's also likely that we have an opportunity to try to change the current contract with the sheriffs if there's anything we feel that should be changed. And I know we have a meeting scheduled with the sheriff in May.
that's
I
right.
don't know the exact date, but I
Yeah,
know the sheriff has been scheduled to come into a meeting, a regular board meeting in May. And I apologize, I don't remember that date.
that way.
I mean, I'll tell you, I wouldn't, I mean, we're now, it's either we put it out for bid. Odds are they're gonna end up with it, but we'll be able to turn around and relook at the contract and decide exactly what we want.
If there's questions,
And there's,
meet with them in May, then that's a time for us to ask additional questions and.
I know, but we're gonna end up with, if we don't make a decision shortly, we're not gonna, and I'm for putting it out for bid, or doing an R something or other.
All right.
RFP.
But that's just my feelings.
Well, this year, because we already have the numbers, that's where I brought up before. And we got the numbers early and they were stated in a public meeting. We got the numbers for our budget we were working on. And it was not purposely stated, but because of that, everybody would have to keep rebidding, is all I'm gonna say.
Well, I think
That's the case.
I think there's something to be said for that, Jamie, but I also think that somebody could come in. And I don't know who would even bid, right? But somebody could possibly come in and bid and say, well, we're gonna give you we can give you 30 hours of contracted service. But I also think that some of the things that I've heard, and I've shared this to the two sheriffs that are down here most of the time. I've shared this information with them because I do work with them more than I want to. But you know, some of the, I went to the Pownell Estates meeting where they had, their new property manager. It was at the Legion. I went to that meeting. And Eddie and I were both there. One of the things I heard from the residents that were at that meeting was they very seldom see the sheriff's department going through the park. Now, there's pros and cons there. It's a private park, so they can't just kind of go through there. I did pass that on to the sheriff's department. I passed that information on to them directly. I think it gives us a chance to maybe open up that contract if we do go back out, RFP. And like I said, I'm not sure who would even,
I don't,
but it does give us a chance to maybe and I'm not saying it could happen, but it definitely gives us a chance to revisit the hours and
Exactly
Some of the-
what we want,
some of the,
instead of,
you know, I'm not saying, you know, and I think they're doing a good job. There's a lot of precedents down here and, you know, I just think it gives us a chance to renegotiate the hours a little bit more. Maybe we can't change it. Maybe whatever, for whatever reason, we can't do anything different. But if we just leave it status quo, then we don't have that chance to renegotiate. We're stepping into the same contract that we have now. It's just extended.
right.
Whereas if we do RFP it, we at least have that opportunity to discuss with Sheriff Gully, the changing the hours or changing what's going on and what we want. And I'm not saying we want to, but at least give us that opportunity. So what's your pleasure?
you want me to make the motion? Make the motion, we put the sheriff's department out for bid,
The law enforcement,
the law enforcement, excuse me.
law enforcement for the town, which will start July 1st of 2024.
Correct.
Second.
Any more discussion on that? Anybody have any comments? I know it's, you know, and I don't want to have that, I don't want to have this as the sheriff's department isn't doing their job. I don't want that to be the topic of discussion because I don't feel that way.
That's not,
Right. I
That's not
just want to make that clear. I just want to make that clear. It gives us the opportunity
right.
to maybe renegotiate a little bit, at least on hours or whatever else. I mean,
Well, so-
you're absolutely right. He sent us his rate, which was much appreciated. But maybe we can renegotiate hours or something.
So that's what we'll have to be specific in the RFP that we're changing what we're asking.
Right.
That's all. I just want to be
No,
clear with
exactly.
that
No, exactly.
because of
I
liability.
agree with you. I
That's
agree
all
with you.
I
And I don't want to be unfair to anybody.
Right.
That's definitely the last thing.
I think the way Karen said that we would do it is for this amount, what could you offer us?
Correct. Because I mean, that's the thing is if we have a fixed amount, then we don't have to worry about, we got 8 months into our budget and we just blowed our complete budget. So we've got another 4 months to go. So that's my, I guess, in the end, that's my biggest concern. That I just want to blow the budget.
We have a certain amount budgeted and we say we have X number of dollars budgeted, you know, and
Yeah.
that's going to be a legal question way above me.
That's why you hire lawyers. Good ones too.
For sure. I have a motion on the floor and I have a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Town policy review, select board work session, discussion and planning. So that's on there. We need to, as Angie said, we need to get our policies updated. I was looking at one of them the other day that was, that had a town,
This is what, just like what the school board used to do.
Yeah.
I think if we have a work session and go over all the policies in the work session, and then after we look at all the policies and we agree or whatever, if we need to bring something ahead of us to change it or whatever, as soon as we bring it to the board and we warn it and we adopt it, I think every single board meeting, 2 or 4 policies should be pulled, put in front of us, and then we can rewarn.
We talked about that before.
Yeah, we started doing that before and then, but it's been a few years, so
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
like
hurt
we
to
keep
do it
saying we're
again.
gonna do it, we're gonna do it, and we
Right.
haven't done it, so we
Right.
really.
Well, I know one of our policies right now is so outdated, it's ridiculous.
Right,
Is
exactly.
it has the town administrator as the person you report to for the problem with the policy, and it's like, okay, we haven't had that, whatever, that policy is way outdated.
Right,
That social media.
so should we
Yeah.
set up a work schedule to start off with the policies?
So do we wanna, do we wanna do it as a board? Do we wanna have,
Could we separate, kind of, I made a list of the policies that,
We should review them.
and then we could maybe, well, I was thinking we could break up, give 5 to one person, 5 to another, or a group of 2 or 3.
I mean, we could do a work session, just on the
How
policy.
many policies are there?
Uh,
You know, off the top of your head?
no, I made a list of them.
Oh, okay. I don't know if like there was like 20s. 30.
there's an.
I'd say 40,
There's quite a few.
so that,
Some of these aren't as outdated as the other ones. I think.
Right.
Because once you start going through them, the ones that are outdated, they're just going to be to the side and you're done with them.
There's a couple that are pretty redundant. Now
I
that.
think even putting them all in the same format,
Mhm.
so they're all,
That's-
some look like emails.
Yeah,
Like,
Right.
that's true.
just getting some that,
That's
and
right.
then we used to put on the bottom original date,
Yep.
review date, and then you could put a date to be reviewed,
Right.
and then it could pop right up,
Sure.
on.
That's
That's
a good idea
very,
to actually put a to be reviewed date.
Right, that's what's on this one, I think.
Let's set up a work session specifically, yeah, I saw that.
Next review date.
Let's set up a work session specifically to, bring the number of policies that we have and what we have.
we concentrate on.
And concentrate,
Yeah.
and then we can dissect the,
Yeah.
worst ones, outdated ones that are the farthest.
The ones that need the most help.
Excuse me. And then we can work from there, right? So let's set up a work session, a select board work session for that. Whatever, it doesn't matter to me if you want to do it on Thursday nights.
It's up to you guys. I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
I don't have a life, so.
Mondays and Tuesdays are those are kind of days that I,
Wednesday.
Kind of try to reserve time, but-
Tied up, so.
yeah, I think if we stayed on a Thursday night and, maybe we start on May 2nd with our first policy work
Okay.
session.
Yep.
Same thing, 6 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And then we can go from there if we think we need to go to the 16th or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not one of our meeting nights, so. May 2nd at 6 o'clock for the first work session.
Yep.
Gives us a little time to gather our information and.
Yep.
Figure out.
Sounds good.
Remote meeting discussion and planning, this is kind of my thing, and I know some of you have looked into some of this, a little bit of this. I had brought this up, I'd like to visit some places, I have some places that I'd like to visit as a board, and we can call those work sessions as well. I'd like to visit the firehouses in town, the 2 different fire departments. I'd like to visit, I'd like to go into the library.
Mhm.
I'd like to set up a table. These are just my brainstorms. I'd like to set up a table outside at the top of the hill, between the 2 parks in Pownell, between Green Mountain and Pownell Estates. I'd like to set up a table where people could come in that live in the parks, come to a question and answer.
Yep.
To the board. I know we've looked into it legally and, we obviously can't conduct any business, but we sure could have those remote meetings.
Yep.
And I think that helps us get the town reconnected. I think I'm hoping that it brings in more participation from residents in the town to the planning commission, to the DRB, to some of these things that are missing out there. I'd like to, if we could pick up some more participation, I think that would definitely be a bonus. So I'd like to set a date for the first one.
So do you want to do this monthly, quarterly?
I'd like to do one, at least one outside,
A regular meeting?
no, yes, outside of our regular meeting, yes, sorry, Ange, yes. Outside of our regularly scheduled meetings, I'd like to do one per month at a remote location. So it would be an additional Thursday night.
Mhm.
And so how would we make it remote? By Facebook Live? Because we certainly can't pick up that TV and bring it with us.
There's a couple of ways.
Who's far now?
There's a couple of ways that we could do it. We need to research that out. So therefore, I'd like to have our first one because I'm looking for some better weather.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna be outdoors mostly.
Yeah.
The first one I would like to do I'd like to do the 17th. Wait a minute, sorry. I'm in the,
You're talking this month. Right, going next month.
no, I'd like to go to May so that we can get all our legal stuff in a row.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I know we've talked about it and we've asked questions and we know what we can do, but I just want to make sure we have everything in a row.
You want to do it on the 16th?
So I gave you guys no, I didn't second. Yeah, the 16th.
Be the Thursday,
That would be the
the off.
off Thursday. So we'll do the policy review the 2nd, regular meeting the 9th.
Yep.
A remote meeting the 16th, regular meeting the 23rd of May.
Yep.
Okay. May is gonna be busy.
Yeah.
I just think we need to get reconnected and I want the town to get reconnected with us.
I
So-
think that the library.
These select board members, or are you gonna,
Mike,
ask other commissions? to-
Mike? Jamie, so,
I was gonna say, I believe the library has Zoom capability, so we may be able to hold it the way we do here as a special. When we do it at the library, I'm
Okay.
just,
Yeah.
and I don't know if any of the fire departments, the rescue squads are set up that way.
I don't know. That's
but-
something we need to look into.
Right,
And
I'm
then
just
I just
saying,
think those buildings.
one.
We're not making decisions.
Right.
We don't need to have
But you looked into
specific, yeah, so a work session you could do without having
Right.
technically go down and look at and, kind of just look at the building, look at, maybe talk to them about what their needs are.
Right.
We wouldn't be making any decisions on that.
Listen to
So-
them. It's a specific meeting, specific to that.
So if we can manage to get the meeting set up, we could do that, but otherwise we might have to just do a work session. I know some.
Are you going to designate like certain people to do it for certain months, or you're gonna do it as a whole board?
I want to do it as a whole board.
Okay, I think we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Yep, I want to do it as a
we'll still
whole
have to
board.
warn it, but it'll be a work.
Right, we'll still have to warn it as a work session. I just think that the after town meeting, there was a lot of discussion and I want to meet with these organizations and I'm just using those, they popped into my head.
Right.
If there's somebody else, another organization out there, if you're listening to us right now and you want to have, you think you want to have a meeting in a work session, please reach out to us, one of the board members, Tara, Hannah, somebody.
Mhm.
I don't want to limit anybody. Those are the ones that popped into my head and the locations right off the bat. That's all
They were vocal at our town meeting.
And the trailer, the mobile home parks down there. There's a lot of people in there that have a lot of stuff to say that may or may not want to come to a regular meeting, whereas if we're down there in their location, they may come up to a meeting and talk to us.
Mhm.
And I think what we should do with these work sessions is, since our animal control officer is here tonight, I think I'd like to invite, to your point, invite Eddie to come along as our constable. invite Leonard to come along to these meetings so that the town,
Community outreach.
that's right. I'm
Put
not,
faces and names.
we can reach out to the DRB and the Planning Commission and Conservation Commission. Not sure that it's necessary that they actually be there, but I don't want to eliminate anybody either.
Right.
But I think having our people who are out there, maybe we even have invite Ellen, you know,
That would be, yes.
in case someone has a question about taxes or whatever else
Yeah.
that they're afraid to come in and ask, or they don't want to, or whatever. I just think the more people we have there, I think we're better off.
Do we have, for the 16th of May, do we have a location in mind or
Nope,
nothing yet?
nope. I just figured that we could have that date. I
Place to be determined?
I can reach out to, I know the first group that I talked about this with was the Pownell Fire Protective Association. I can reach out to, Craig or Jamie if everybody's fine with that and
Yeah.
go to the firehouse first. I also want to reach out to, I think I'll reach out to Jim Boutan
Yeah.
from the library. He was on, he seems like he's the chairperson of the board. I'll reach out to Jim and try to set something up down there with Emily and go from there. So maybe the second one will be the library. I don't know. I'm just,
Who's available?
that's right. That's a good point, Bill. It'll be on availability.
Yeah, see who's
Perfect. So I'm going to set that up
16th.
tentatively for May 16th. Yep. And we just need to cover all our bases where we are legally with that.
Going down a Little League field or something like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. There you go,
You
Jamie.
got a lot of people that'll be down there.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Yep, you could find a night when they're not having a game down there and we could certainly go into the Little League field and it covers a whole major section, another major section of town that may, and we can find a place. We can go to the firehouse in East Pownell or somewhere over there, or, something like that.
Yeah, the weather. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's mostly gonna be outdoor stuff. Something I wanna try. It may be a big failure, but if I don't try it, I know, I'm not gonna know if it's a failure or not, so. Perfect, thank you. Any more discussion on that?
Nope.
Any public comment, Hannah?
Oh, Jim has his hand up.
Last year.
Hello, people. I'm just going back
You
to
say
the
your
planning
name, please?
commission. Oh, I'm sorry, Jim Costas, North Mason Hill Road, Pownell. I apologize for that again. Just going back to the planning commission, discussion. I was hoping, you guys have to make a decision yourself, but if there is a problem with people that are not showing up at the meetings, I thought maybe I could just go back and kind of look to see, how many are absent at some of these meetings. But again, I come to the webpage that has no minutes for the DRB dated back to May of 2023. And there are very few, I think we got one in 2024 for the planning commission. And then the last one is back in October. So I was just wondering, how do we rate between 1 and 5 or 1 and 10, the upkeep of our website with the minutes? I know we've done a lot better with the select board minutes, but people need to just know if they can't make it a meeting that they can go back. I did see on the Facebook, if you look under people, we still have Rebecca under as an employee. So I just think there needs to come a time to kind of look back at all of these, and maybe someone in the board can take that as an initiative to find out how can we update the website a little bit better. There is no way of ever coming back with old minutes back prior to 2024, my understanding. And I'm just curious of, in this world of technology, why that can't happen. Is there just something that is not being done? I know maybe everyone's too busy doing other things, but I'm not sure. Policies aren't being updated. So I just throw this out to you that maybe when it comes to the planning commission, we can find out who on the planning commission is not showing up. And maybe they could be replaced with a person that is looking forward to helping out this town and has helped out in the past couple of years, that wants to be a helpful person in the planning commission, but for some reason, it's kind of being hindered one way or another. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thank you.
How much time did I use, Mike?
2 minutes and 23 seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more public comment, Hannah?
No other public comments.
No other hands? Okay. I will entertain a motion to enter into executive session for legal, and it is for animal control, but not the animal control officer.
Move.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
You're all set.
All set? I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive for, legal with animal control situation.
So moved.
Second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
The only action coming out is that the town is seeking restitution for an abandoned dog that is now the town's property because it's been over the 10-day confiscation.
That's a motion
Oh,
that the town is going to
Yes.
seek restitution.
yes, the motion, sorry.
I'll second.
And it's then seconded.
I have a motion that the town is going to seek restitution against an owner of an abandoned dog confiscated over 10 days ago, which is now town property. I have a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.